Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.
This is WRO YouTube TV channel. Today is February 17, 2023, Friday. I am Muhyiddin Muhammad Yusuf, the President of World Rohingya Organization based in USA. I come before you today to discuss an issue that is of utmost importance to all of us: the restoration of human rights, democracy, justice and equality in Burma. As you all know, the people of Burma have been facing a grave human rights crisis for decades now. The recent military coup in the country has only exacerbated the situation, leading to violations of international laws, violence, arrest and oppression, plus ongoing genocide against the Muslim minority Rohingya people. However, we cannot idly sitting by and watch this happen. It is our moral responsibility as activists on human rights, democracy and justice to restore in Burma, to take action and fight for the restoration of all these rights in Burma. But we cannot do this alone. We need to work together as a unified force to make our voices heard and bring about changes in Burma. The first step towards achievement to this is to educate ourselves and the situation in Burma. We must understand the real cause of the crisis, the history of the country, and the challenges that the people of Burma, including the Rohingyas, face. This will enable us to speak with authority and advocate effectively for their cause. Next, we need to engage with the international community to raise awareness about the human rights crisis and genocide in Burma.
To say openly and frankly, actually,
we must call upon international governments, the United Nations and other international bodies to take action and put pressure on the military junta, military regime, to restore democracy and human rights in the country. We must also support the people of Burma, disregarding race, religion and ethnicity directly. This can be done by the only support of the civil society organizations that are working on the ground, providing the people who have been affected by the crisis and amplifying the voices through the social media and other channels. Most importantly, we must work together as a team. We must put aside our minor differences and come together to fight for this common cause. We must support and uplift one another and work together for a common goal of restoring justice, equality, human rights and federalism rights in Burma. The situation of Burma is dire and we must act. Let us come together and work together toward the future where all people of Burma, including Rohingya, can live in freedom, dignity and justice. Let us be the voice of the voiceless and fight for what that is right. Together we can make a difference. Before I go further to discuss the relation between the National Unity Government of the Union Burma in exile and the Rohingya issues, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the United States government for its unwavering support for the National Unity Government NUG and its commitment to providing vital humanitarian assistance to the Rohingya people. The National Unity Government represents a crucial opportunity for the people of Myanmar, including the Rohingya people, to establish a democratic and inclusive government that respects human rights, dignity of the Rohingya people, and uphold the rule of law. The United States government has been key partner in these efforts for providing strong and consistent support for the National Unity Government and its efforts to restore democracy, human rights, federalism in Burma. The United States government has played an important role in addressing the ongoing humanitarian crisis, human rights in Myanmar, particularly with respect to the Rohingya people. The Rohingya have suffered unimaginable atrocities and genocide. The United States government's commitment to providing vital humanitarian assistance to this Rohingya community is. We know that we are stronger together, and we believe that by working in partnership, we can make a real and lasting difference for the people of Myanmar and the Rohingya people. We stand with American government, and we are also thankful to American government for unwavering commitment to democracy, human rights, justice, and restoration of the rights of the Rohingya peoples as an ethnic minority in Burma. Then, rule of law establishing in Burma. We understand the issue of Rohingya people and their rights in Burma is complex and contentious, and it has been a long-standing challenge for the successive Burmese military government and junta in the country. The National Unity Government NUG is a newly formed coalition of pro-democratic forces that is working to establish a democratic and inclusive government that respects human rights and justice and equality and upholds law. With the National Unity Government has yet not released formal constitution, it has expressed a commitment to address the ongoing human rights crisis in Myanmar and working toward justice and accountability for all communities in the country, including the Rohingya people. The National Unity Government has also taken steps to include members of the ethnic minority groups in its leadership, and it has made possible and public statement expressing support for the right of Rohingya people and other marginalized community in Myanmar. The National Unity Government has already publicly stated Rohingyas are citizens of Myanmar, and the Rohingyas living in Bangladesh refugee camps will be repatriated as they won the people mandate and become the government. They also announced that 1982 citizenship laws will be banned, and they also have pledged to support the genocide case submitted by Gambia to ICJ for the punishment of the culprits. The National Unity Government will support to these witness causes because the Rohingyas are really the victims of genocide in Burma. However, it is important to note that the situation in Myanmar is complex and dynamic. The National Unity Government faces significant challenges in establishing a democratic and inclusive government that respects human rights and upholds the rule of law. The Rohingya people have faced decades of discriminations and persecution, and it will take sustained and focused efforts to address the underlying issues and promote justice and accountability for the communities in the country. I, on behalf of World Rohingya Organization and the Rohingya people, congratulate the National Unity Government to be able to establish a foreign office in Washington, D.C., United States of America, with the support and assistance of the American government. We are also thankful to the US government for providing this opportunity to the people of Burma. But I want to request humbly to all office bearers of the National Unity Government of the Union of Burma to express that Rohingyas are one of the indigenous races of the Myanmar, Burma. We have learned only 135 national races belong to the indigenous races of Burma, whereas the first president of the Union of Burma clearly announced in a state media officially that Rohingyas are an indigenous people in Burma like Kachin, Kayashan, Kamo and Rakhine people. And also the Prime Minister UNU, he has announced in the social media that Rohingyas are national of Burma. They belong to indigenous groups. They and other people also, Aungji, he has repeatedly mentioned Rohingyas are an indigenous people like Kachin, Kashim, Mo, Rakhine. They are not from Pakistan. They are people of Arakan and people of Burma. But today we are suffering because that was not constitutionally recognized. So we are suffering today. So we would like to humbly request the National Unity Government to adopt a constitution in which the inclusiveness of the Rohingya people must be written, because after coming to the power, National Unity Government, like before, when we were supporting Aung San Suu Kyi for the democratic reforms and for her release and for the establishment of democracy and human rights and rule of law, she came to power and she tried best, but not for the Rohingya people. She was the person who went to Netherlands to witness and certify and recommend that Burmese military junta, that Burmese military forces has not committed any genocide or did nothing wrong to the Rohingya people. This is a very sad to learn, but we are afraid that National Unity Government, after coming to the power, they will again play the same game. So it is our sincere request to all acting President Dualashila and the relevant ministers and the foreign ministers and all those responsible for the national unity government to adopt a strong and solid documentation with the constitutional endorsement that Rohingyas will be given justice and those who committed genocide will be accountable and punished according to the international law. Just talking in front of the people, mentioning the Rohingya name, making public media statement is not enough, because we the Rohingya people have suffered long and we don't want to suffer anymore. I sincerely request the officials and ministers of the NUG to invite a team of Rohingya people living in the United States of America as a representative of the Rohingya people in diaspora to talk and make necessary documentations. This will help to go forward by the United Nations and the Security Councils to make appropriate steps to take actions against the Myanmar military junta who committed genocide against Rohingya people. We will go forward for the establishment of democracy, human rights and justice and equality for all people of Myanmar. Thank you.